welcome back to the show, guys. Obviously, if you can see from the title of this video, I'm obviously a bit late with this reaction because this happened a few days ago, but nonetheless we're still gonna get into it and have a discussion about it. So I would like to start off with reading a tweet from Destiny. I'm sure many of you are aware of Destiny. If you've been on the internet for the past year or two, you would have heard of this name, Destiny. So the first thing I want to start off with is this is something he tweeted on the day of the Trump assassination attempt. He tweeted this: I am honestly conflicted on how I feel about the shooting, but we'll chat about it on stream tomorrow. First thing is, how can you be conflicted about something as obvious as, what we saw on that day? What day was it? This was on the 14th of July. It's very clear. You can see that this is an assassination attempt. How can you be conflicted about this? If it was someone on their side, someone like Biden, we would know for a fact. Mainstream media would have come out condemning such violence, But obviously, because Trump is a conservative and this Destiny guy is so left, like he is so liberal, it has no bounds. He's so liberal. This guy just says the most outrageous things ever. But I don't want to waste a lot of your time. Let's get into this interview he had with Piers Morgan, and you just listen to how deranged this guy is. Alright, let's get into it.
Do something crazy. Again, we don't know if that was what happened right now, but we certainly can ask about it.
And I think, to be completely fair, I believe Donald Trump has spouted a lot of very ill-advised and occasionally very dangerous rhetoric. And I want both sides to dial it down, because actually where this leads to is where it's led to. And in Britain, we've had 2 members of parliament in the last 10 years murdered by people for political reasons, basically because, lunatics have wanted to eliminate them. Let me bring in Destiny, because you've been at the centre, as you know, of a massive online response to what you were saying. And I want to go through what you said, and I want to talk to you about this hopefully in a calm manner to try and understand what you were thinking. So on Saturday evening, hours after the shooting, you said, let me clarify, when I say conflicted, what I mean is I lean towards seeing it as a natural extension of the thing Trump and the MAGA kids support. So I don't think I have much sympathy about the attempt enough to chastise people celebrating it. You couldn't find it in your heart to chastise people for celebrating the near assassination of a man who was president of the United States and maybe again?
Absolutely not. Conservatives have completely bled that well dry. And the idea that they, after engaging in the most divisive and most extreme rhetoric that this country has seen in recent history, that they would come on and beg for sympathy, that it's escalated into some kind of violent confrontation, is absolutely insane. Even the idea right now of saying, well, if you call somebody a Nazi for so long, it's, what do you expect people to do? I grew up listening to Rush Limbaugh call Obama a communist every single day he was on the radio. You've got conservatives that talk about how the mRNA vaccines were ways to sneak microchips into us. You've got COVID lockdowns that were done because the government was trying to take all your freedom away. They won't acknowledge anything that happened on January 6th. They say that the election was stolen and that your country is being taken from you. I don't think anybody should be killed. I don't think anybody should go out and kill anybody. But when you engage in this type of rhetoric and when you turn the temperature up over and over and over and over again, there is absolutely no room for you to be shocked or surprised. And there certainly isn't room for you to ask for sympathy.
But Destiny, you say you don't want anybody killed, and yet you say, I don't think I have much sympathy about the attempt to chastise people celebrating it. People celebrating the...
Man, it's like a script. You already know the script with the Democrats, with the liberals. They've got a script. They follow a script. They don't realize it, but they've got a script. You see, he didn't directly address the situation. Instead of directly addressing the situation, the specific thing that they're discussing right now, he goes back to say, oh, but this happened and you people didn't say anything about this. This happened. Like, for example, the one thing they always bring up, without fail, they'll always bring this up, is January 6th. Every time you corner a liberal, they'll bring up January 6th and completely blame it all on Trump. But clearly, if you've listened to people like Vivek Ramaswamy, I hope I didn't butcher that name, you know that the way that news was reported for January 6th was very manipulated. You know, as an independent citizen or person, with the internet nowadays, you can literally just search these things up. Don't just listen to what these people are saying. People like Destiny. I just have, every time I listen to Destiny, I try by all means not to, but for example, for the sake of something like this, I have to. But I feel like there's a darkness in people like him. There's this, like, this is a grown man. I'm surprised it doesn't have the blue hair anymore. But there's this darkness that I feel from people like him. You know, this, I don't want to go too deep, but there's this very bad vibe. There's a bad energy that I feel when I listen to them talking. This guy, Destiny, he looks like that guy in high school who wanted to be liked by everyone, who wanted to be liked by the girls, but he couldn't. So he just became this outspoken guy who says whatever the hell he wants, you know, in a bid maybe to get some confidence. So I don't know. This is just me, maybe this is just me maybe hating on the guy, but clearly you can see I don't like him. But anyways, this is not about me. Let's listen to what this nonsense was spewing.
Celebrating the near assassination of Donald Trump. If you can't find it in you to chastise people who do that, aren't you just as despicable as the people you've just spent the last 2 minutes haranguing?
No, because they've led the way. This is the environment that they've created.
So you think behaving like the people you think are despicable is the correct course of action?
Not about behaving like the people who are despicable would be leading that type of rhetoric. It would be denying every single bad thing. How many times as a liberal? How many times as a liberal have you been on a show? Not you in general, but like a liberal been on a show and you've been forced to disavow all of the BLM riots, disavow all of the violence, and blah blah blah. And then you talk to conservatives about it. January 6th. That was
that's good.
Flag.
Yeah.
January 6th.
Did you hear that he brought
Like
up
conservatives
January
disavow
6th?
January 6th?
Again.
Wait. First off, there's an entire cultural machine that has lied. There is an entire
we just saw it in real time. That's it.
What?
That's why conservatives deserve absolutely zero sympathy for anything that happens as a result of their rhetoric. That's it. It's so easy. Like, it's so simple.
Okay, but
I'm not exactly sure what he's talking about, but I would say this is the type of person that the internet has broke their brain, thus leaving them with very little empathy for their co-human. I mean, a good, decent father is now dead because of this. He's had his brains blown out because he was defending his wife and daughter. I would hope that you have a little.
Oh yeah, that's the sad part about this whole situation. A whole father has just died, and this prick here is saying he literally doesn't care. He was literally saying that I'll laugh about it. I'm sure they bring it up at some point during this interaction. Then we'll get a clear picture of what he actually said. But he did say something about laughing at you if you're a conservative and you get shot. I'm laughing at you the next day. He's so deranged. These people are crazy. They are so crazy.
Little empathy
well,
for
actually,
that.
Well, let me jump in there because we have a clip of what Destiny has said about that very thing. Let's listen to this.
Fuck it. Fuck the dude, the firefighter guy. Fuck Trump. Fuck the people that support him. I just want you to know, okay? Just in case you're confused or it seems like I'm, whatever. If one of you were in the crowd and you're a conservative fan of mine and you end up, getting blown away or whatever the fuck, I'm making fun of you the next day on Twitter. I am, 100%.
I mean, I got to say, I just found that.
Did you guys get that? He said he's making fun of you on Twitter the next day, 100%. What kind of messed up retard do you have to be to say something like that on the internet? Mind you, this guy has a lot of followers. This guy has a lot of people who follow him. I don't know the exact number, but it's a lot. And people are listening to this nonsense. It's crazy, when influence and power is given to the wrong people. These are the kinds of degenerate people we get in society. Let me not put too much emotions and feelings into this, but this guy really pisses me off, man.
Repulsive, Destiny.
I wish that there is no room There is no room for the hand-wringing, and I will not participate in this
it's
anymore.
not hand-wringing.
In the hand-wringing. No,
It's not
it
hand-wringing.
absolutely is.
No, it's just that
Jen
you are
called you out on
positioning
it
yourself.
so well.
No, but
When you are
Destiny,
in
let
a
me explain
world
to you.
where conservatives can say anything.
No, I'm not a
They can have
conservative.
any conspiracy theory.
I'm not a conservative.
They can have
True.
any plot. They can do any of these things, and then liberals are
All right,
supposed to sit
Destiny,
here and be like,
Destiny,
"Oh my
no.
God, it's so tragic."
No, Destiny.
Absolutely not.
Let me explain.
Absolutely.
Let me explain my position, because I'm not a conservative. I'm not on either side in your race, right? Here's what I think about what you did. You'd like to fire off, as you've done so far in this debate, about your fury at how disgusting Republicans are, how inhumane they are, how they never have any empathy, blah, 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 blah. And then you yourself actually are exactly the person that you're describing. You are inhuman. You are somebody who seems almost gleeful that a young firefighter with a family, with a wife and children, who he was protecting as he was shot dead, that he deserved what was coming to him because he went to a President Trump rally, a man who was president of the United States until recently for 4 years and maybe again. You sound almost gleeful, Destin, and I'm sorry, that makes you, frankly, despicable.
Wow. I'm no Piers Morgan fan, but he's cooking here. I dislike the guy, trust me. I don't like Piers Morgan. He is not exactly right, he's not exactly left, he's not exactly center. He goes with the wind, wherever the wind takes him, he goes. I don't like the guy. He doesn't really stand for anything. But right here, he's cooking. I mean, I have to give him his flowers. The guy does bring up some valid points occasionally. But he's telling the truth here. This guy, he sounds so happy about what he's saying. He sounds so proud. There's like this hate. There's this atmosphere of hate when you listen to what he's saying. This hate energy in what he's saying. These guys hate Trump so much that you can clearly tell this guy is not impressed that Trump survived the assassination attempt. And a lot of people are saying, oh, it was staged. I mean, how can you stage something to the extent of you end up killing someone in the crowd and then end up injuring 2 other people? How can something like that be staged? I mean, if something like that is staged, then that's the pinnacle of evil in society. You just can't stage something like that. This is a personal take, So.
That makes you, frankly, despicable.
I don't think I'm gleeful about anything. I don't think anybody should die. I don't think anybody deserves to die. But you want to talk about gleeful? Look at the conservative response to Pelosi's husband when they broke in.
I can answer that.
Mainstream media figures
I can answer that.
I don't care.
I can answer that.
With all due respect, I don't care what your answer is.
Let me answer that.
The reality is that conservatives have been turning the temperature up on the rhetoric. They have been making fun of these types of events for years, and now when something happens to them, now they're looking for sympathy from the liberal side. Absolutely not. It's insane. It's unhinged that you can conduct yourself in such a manner and expect people to feel sorry when things happen.
Why should anybody on the right listen to a word of your hectoring and lecturing about how they should behave? And by the way, for the record, the mockery of Nancy Pelosi's husband when he was attacked by an intruder with a hammer was also despicable, right? I can see despicable behavior on all sides, and I'm happy to call it out when I see it. You, however, want to present yourself as this great kind of standard bearer of decency, who sees outrageous behavior on the right time and again and is incensed by this disgusting, inhumane behavior. And yet time and again, since the attempted assassination of Donald Trump, you have displayed exactly the same kind of inhumane behavior. Fuck him about a fireman who is killed because he attends a rally of a guy he wants to vote for.
My issue with the MAGA kids is not that they are not empathetic. My issue is that they support a president that led an insurrection against the United States. I'm not here to tone police over their empathy.
18 million people voted for.
Okay, I think that's the main things that I wanted us to hear. I think we heard those. Basically, the only comeback these guys have is January 6th. That President Trump led an insurrection on January 6th, even though the evidence says otherwise. But they keep hammering this point. When you repeat something over and over again, people start to believe it. But, I mean, these guys should not be given a voice. Obviously, I shouldn't be saying that because... And by the way, I'm not American. And I know in America they believe in this freedom of speech. Freedom of speech, I don't know which amendment it is. But Yeah, that's the thing with America, you know, it's a full democracy. You're allowed to say whatever you want. Actually, it's a democracy in quotes, 'cause I don't think the presidents have been running things for a long time now, except for Trump. That's why they don't want Trump. That's exactly why they don't want Donald Trump, because Donald Trump is different from all these other people.